We here. We here. We here from Paramore. We've united all for the sake of Paramore today.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
We here with Phaedra. We here with Phaedra, the Paramore stan, the fanatic
Hey.
up in here for real.
Hey.
Well, I thought Paramore would be releasing an album pretty like, like months ago. They're like,
We all
"Oh,
thought,
we're coming back. We're coming back. We're not going to lead you astray, fans. Don't worry." And then, no, nothing. I'm just a general fan of like that entire genre of music. So I'm not a Paramore expert, but their first three albums I have like completely memorized. I've got them. I was back in the day, like 2009, 2008, like riding with my CD player. Like I had like the ghetto like CD player, and I'd like put it in my baggy pockets, and I'd ride on my bicycle and like have the headphones on, just riding through the hood,
Oh man.
blasted Paramore in my ears for real. My level of like fandom for this band is not on the level of Phaedra for real. So
no, I don't think anyone did, to be honest with you. Paramore is kind of like seen as one of those bands that people stand like kind of casually. Like people are more like casual fans of them. So not a
yeah,
lot of people think about there being like dedicated as Paramore stands, and there I am.
I feel like Hayley Williams as a person is more famous than Paramore. Like
Yeah, she is.
like as a
She is.
like I feel like if people saw Hayley Williams, they'd be like, "Oh, that's Hayley." Like, but like I don't know, they might not be a Paramore fan, you know? Like,
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Haley is literally the only member that anyone can name. Like,
yeah,
people cannot name a single other member. It's the truth that we don't want to admit as Paramore fans, but it's the truth.
give like a history of like you with this band. Like, why do you stand them so hard on Twitter every single day?
well, well, I got into Paramore in like April of 2015, so that's like close to 7 years ago at this point when I just turned 13. I hit my like little angsty, cringy emo phase. I was
Paramore
needing
just in
an
time.
outlet. I was needing an outlet for that shit, and I saw some sort of like nostalgia compilation on YouTube of like songs from the 2000s, and Misery Business was on there, and I legit thought it was the best song of all time. I literally listened to that and only that for like 2 straight days. And when I fall for something, I fall hard. I found Misery Business like on a Sunday, and by the next Friday, I could tell what year it was by Haley's hair color.
You was in deep, man. Like,
Yeah, I fall deep right away. And I mean, I feel like on a more serious note, I feel like Haley is like a lyricist. She writes out like a journey for her fans to kind of like follow along. So even though you might be in a different place mentally with Haley, you can still feel like invested in what she's writing and what she's saying. It's a great thing to follow along. And I feel like this album in particular was really like the start of that.
I didn't even listen to rock music until I heard Fall Out Boy, and then I was like, "Oh yes," and then that was like the transition. But yeah, Paramore was actually one of the first rock bands I ever liked, like in the world. Like before
Mm-hmm.
that, it was nothing but it was like Lil Wayne mixtapes nonstop. But then I heard Dance Dance by Fall Out Boy, and
Oh
that
yeah, that would
like
have converted me too.
so Noob. I know you don't I mean you
You don't
only
know what we're
know
talking about.
I only know Misery Business, man. Pretty much, all my life. I haven't been very open to music until very late into my life. So I say in my 20s, that's when I actually got a chance to listen to Paramore.
They have a lot of songs that like are really famous on their own, but like people just don't really know that they're Paramore songs. Like Ain't It Fun or Still Into You. Like
oh
everyone knows
yeah,
those songs, but like not everyone would know that it's a Paramore song.
everyone's been to Target, so everyone knows ain't it
Everybody
fun?
knows.
This was like a sleeper hit album, honestly. Like it didn't chart or perform as well as their other previous two albums, but eventually like Hard Times just kept kind of blowing up, and I think now it's eligible for platinum. I'm not
Hmm.
sure. I follow the update account, so
I just noticed the brand new eyes in the corner,
yeah.
the
Yeah, so this
strategically.
is yeah, this is the Brandy Wise box set. It comes with a DVD.
Oh,
Haley, there's like a copy of Haley's journal where she wrote the lyrics, and behind that is Flowers for Vases, which is Haley's second solo album.
oh yeah,
Oh,
I remember when she was releasing those. I heard like snippets of them, and I was like, this is some SoundCloud lo-fi like in my bedroom. I'm sad.mp3. I like their first album. I liked a lot. Riot, of course. That was like when Misery Business hit, even black people. I remember black people love Misery Business.
We do.
Yeah, we do. Even he knows. He knows Misery Business.
I just like, hey, that's busy business. Hey,
Black people love Decode as well. A lot of black people, they don't like to admit it, but black people were watching Twilight. Like, black people were watching
Everyone
Twilight.
was watching Twilight, but no one wanted to admit it.
And they heard Decode.
Decode is one of the best songs of the 21st century. Like, I legit think that should be put in the museum.
Brand New Eyes was like I didn't when Brand New Eyes dropped, I was like, how could they? This is the most godlike music. Like, it just sounded so powerful. Like, there's no skips when I'm listening to that. Like, I ain't skipping
Absolutely
nothing.
none.
All my favorite Paramore songs are like on that album.
My favorite Paramore songs on there, it's Playing God. Actually, like, one of my favorite things about that song is just how, like, well incorporated each member is. You can just feel every single one's presence. And I feel like when people say they miss the Brand New Eyes era, I feel like they miss that completeness of the lineup. They miss, like, every key position being filled by a permanent member. And you can just feel everyone on that song. And it just warms my heart, even though, like, everyone was, like, low-key hating each other at the time.
I love that album. The weakest song on that album is Brick by Boring Brick, but I'm not skipping that song ever.
I feel like, you know, the first 2/3 of it are like fine, they're average, but then the last third with the bridge and the ba-da, ba-da, whatever the fuck they do, that shit
Your feet on the
slaps.
ground. Yeah, that fire.
Yeah, that shit slaps. There's actually a reference to that song on this album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like she references a lyric in a song called 26. Try and peep it. I'm gonna stop it so you can see. People actually put Brand New Eyes in the same tier as this album. Like, people
Really?
love this album.
I know people were like even like the most like skeptic, like you know, nerdy, like I give every album a 4, like, you know, those YouTube reviewers who seem like they
Yeah.
don't enjoy any music ever. They thought it was like really mature, like a big step up.
Yeah.
Self-titled. In retrospect, that album is not that bad, but I just like when that album came out, I was working at like stores and like I was
You had to
hearing
hear it all the time.
nonstop. I walk in, clock in, even on your worst night, like nonstop, forever.
People always talk about old Paramore versus new Paramore. I'm like, dog, at this point, it's all old Paramore.
This album came out in what, 2017?
We're approaching 5 years.
This album is gonna be like going to kindergarten.
I'm excited. This is actually the most I've talked about Paramore in a minute because I've been on my weed shit. I had to jump ship. They weren't giving me anything.
Disturbing. All those the weeb, because I follow you, like, you know how it like links, like it'll be like show similar
Yeah, I
tweets?
like have contaminated your TL.
It's so weeby.
I would mute me if I were you. It was so bad.
Noob is
For
just
all
here in
my
confusion.
followers.
this is just like the
Noob doesn't know what we're talking about. He's like, I
Paramore.
know Misery Business.
I just know Misery.
You
My
know,
brain.
I remember the shift in culture when Riot dropped. It was like
I was too young.
Oh yeah, you're like what, 19 or something?
Yeah.
So, oh man,
I was 5 when it came out.
it was like any band that had a female singer was like compared to Paramore at that point.
Literally, like 3 days ago, I went to this like Battle of the Bands thing, and there was a female singer who came on, and my friends, like, one of them went like, "Come on, Haley Williams," or whatever the fuck, and I was like, "Oh, you know, it's unfair to compare them," and then they sang Mystery Business.
If there is a female singer and a guitar, it's like, oh, it's like Paramore.
That was me this year with like Willow Smith. Like, she started going like a rock direction, and everyone was just like, "Oh my god, Paramore!" This sounds no Paramore song has ever sounded like this ever.
There's bands that you could compare that to, but not Paramore. If I was to compare like mid 2000s era Paramore to another band, I would compare them to like maybe like All Time Low, like sonically, like not like new, but like in that emo like Warped Tour like 2007, like I would be like, okay.
Wait, hold up, I'm finna cough. Wait.
COVID.
It ain't COVID.
She dying. Well, that is a huge water bottle. That is a comically big.
Yeah.
If I was to compare mid 2000s Paramore, it'd be like one of those All Time Low type bands. like power pop bands that were like real
Yeah,
like
yeah. I think power pop's a really good word to describe, a really good like genre to describe their sound. They always have really strong choruses and like the vocal delivery is like really punchy all the time.
I'm trying to think of other power pop bands. Maybe like Boys Like Girls. I remember people were comparing like when Taylor Swift started getting a little heavier, they're like, it's like Paramore. I was like,
Ah,
no, it's not. Like
there's a lot of people going. They're like, it's like
They think
Paramore. It's
they
crazy.
think woman plus guitar is Paramore, bro.
are you dying? COVID, death.
H2O. Get the doctor.
Your little knowledge of Paramore.
I feel like a baby, like a little baby, just like we're gonna tell you everything.
Look at this Home and Gardens Network HD background, bro. Look at this, man. Doesn't it look like 2012 British YouTube vlogger?
Oh yeah, or like crafty, crafty artist. I don't know.
Oh, the blonde. I remember the
Yes.
aesthetic of this era, but I didn't hear the songs.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, Blonde Haley is my favorite Haley, so this was like my favorite.
Oh,
oh man.
oh,
Oh, I heard this before.
Yeah, you have. I know you have.
I feel like I've heard this in a Target.
Yeah, it's making the retail rounds.
this is my first time hearing this.
If you made this more emo, it would be like the 1975.
Like, if you listen to the lyrics, it's sad as fuck.
That was a slapper. That was like for an opener of an album. Like, I hate when albums have weak openings. It's like, you got to grab my attention immediately if you want me to listen to this 45 minutes. Like,
Album is so consistent that like that gives you the perfect taste for the rest of the album. Like, if you're feeling that sound, you're gonna be feeling the rest of the album.
I am digging the halftime beat. I was like digging the drum beat and all that. It was solid, and it was just like whoa, because I was listening to the first three albums and then going into this, I'm like whoa.
Starting from Brand New Eyes and then self-titled, then After Laughter, you can see like a very gradual shift towards this like kind of poppier sound, and it's like it's not jarring at all. And what I really like about it is the fact that even though it does have a more synthetic sound, you can still feel and hear instruments being played and still hear every single member on it. Like you can still hear Taylor, you know, with his riffs and his guitar parts, you can still hear the drums and the bass and you know, it still feels like a band. It doesn't feel like it's Haley and a bunch of like
bunch of Britpop
bullshit
dudes.
machines around her.
I remember people when this album was out, Haley is becoming a Beyonce. Like, it's not even Paramore anymore. Like, they were saying, like, this is just Haley's project now. The other band has no control because of the sound change. But just listening to that, like, this, like, I can hear every member of this band. Like, it's like the guitar man and those drums. Like, this was like
the drummer, everybody was a part of it.
Taylor took over from Josh after he left, and I mean Taylor is the reason this album sounds this way. Like Haley is just a lyricist; she doesn't really contribute that heavily to the sound behind the song. So Taylor kind of engineered this genre shift, and also aesthetically speaking, Zach played a huge part in the aesthetic of this era. So, I mean, all three permanent members shaped this era equally, in my opinion. So I think it's really ridiculous. And people have been saying that since 2010. They just can't comprehend that a woman's getting along with her band members.
I think when the Airplanes came out, that was like that was like the boost to like, oh, they're gonna be popular. I mean, they were always big. Like they were like maybe like Fall Out Boy level big, but but they were like still in that like Warped Tour, like that like.
Yeah.
But I feel like when Airplanes and like Self-Titled came out, it was like, okay, this is like a global like like everyone is listening to this.
They were just doing whatever they wanted to do, and it was completely authentic, and no one was pressuring them into doing anything. They were trying to write after the Pharaohs left, and Taylor had to kind of step up as the composer of the group. He was like trying to write stuff that sounded more like their old stuff. That's why we got songs like Monster, stuff like that. for the Transformers soundtrack, but like they just weren't feeling it anymore. They were just kind of
They want
just
something
didn't
different.
feel inspired by it, so they experimented, and we got something that felt more authentic and exciting and new. And people still bitched.
This feels like a natural progression. Like
Yeah,
bands,
exactly.
but it's more to do with the genre because a lot of bands in this whole like emo genre, they just kind of make the same album over and over again. Like
Oh yeah.
dope. Hey, I buy all those albums every single time. I was actually considering wearing a Newfound Glory shirt just
That would have been this. I would have turned it off.
formulaic, but I will listen to that formula every single time. I will never stop.
Actually, speaking of that, this next song's actually about
Oh, it
that
is?
one. It's actually about that one ugly motherfucker.
It's about Chad for real?
Yep. Little bit of trivia. I have the same birthday as Chad.
Oh, y'all are one and the same.
And we're from the same county too. We're from Broward County, Florida.
Celestial siblings. Y'all both were into Haley Williams. Like
Both in love with Haley Williams. I would have treated her better though. Whatever he did, I wouldn't have done it, baby. Because it's about that. I'm not even gonna say his name.
It's about a legend in the genre of pop punk music, a hero of our time.
The fact that he inspired the song is the most important thing he's done.
Ow.
Hey, Paramore never made my friends over you.
I was at Warped Tour and they were
Oh.
they were there. It was actually the last ever Warped Tour. I was there and I was like high as shit. And there was this girl next to me who had glitter tears, which is like a Paramore thing. We were just looking at each other like,
Y'all were there just to hate. I love Newfound Glory with all my heart, but that man has made some suspect decisions in in his life.
How are you with Haley Williams and you fuck it up, bro?
That's the biggest L. Oh man.
I'm digging it.
I love Haley so much.
All right, go. Okay, go. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Stupid
Ah,
thing.
that meme. That is fire. Dude, this is their best like produced like vocal quality. Like I mean her vocal range has always been fire, but like the quality like of the recording of her voice, like it sounds so clear. Like
Yeah.
and
This
like
is
the
like
mix
such a crisp production.
like usually in like rock music, you don't hear this type of like crisp vocal like
Yeah,
the
I feel
mixing.
like with like rock, there's sort of like an intentional like distortion or fuzziness to it, but this
Yeah.
is very clean and crisp, and you can just feel everyone's part like layered onto each other. It's really great.
It's like if a hip hop producer like mixed this and like made sure
Yeah.
like everything was like so crisp.
The whole scene itself of them being newscasters and keeping up a facade that everything is all good.
Yeah. That's a major theme of the keeping up a facade. But with this song specifically, there's a song called Fake Happy that really is about that facade. But this song specifically is about kind of maintaining a sort of happy demeanor within a relationship, because Haley was actually having a really bad time emotionally. Right now we're talking about kind of being shamed and mocked for having kind of a pessimistic or depressed attitude. Your man, by the way, Chad, was
Chad
actually
is a Chad.
no, he's the rose-colored boy. He's the happy-go-lucky guy who's like shaming Haley for being in a bad place. He actually wrote a song called Bad Mood, which is basically like him just bitching about her depression.
Oh man.
Your man, by the way.
I will get my Newfound Glory merch as quick as I can.
I will shut this laptop off.
I'm just here.
Like looking at things through rose-tinted goggles,
Yeah.
or like I just killed off what's left of the optimist in me.
You think my eyes are getting too dark now? You have never seen my mind. This bridge is one of my favorite things she's ever written. I feel like in a lot of current media, there's kind of this openness about talking about like not being okay or being, vulnerable. And I mean, I'm not gonna go as far as to credit Paramore for like being the first people to do it or like inventing it, but I would definitely cite this album as being one of the first kind of like mainstream major installments of
I mean,
like
they popularized it kind of.
yeah, I would definitely say that like it wasn't until like after this album that you start seeing people like Billie Eilish really start to take off, and people who like brand themselves on their like vulnerability.
This was a great video. Like,
yeah, I thought it was an excellent video.
Listening to these as two bangers, I'm like, whoa.
I Told You So, the one coming up right next, is like the grooviest song. It's like lyrically, it's probably like the least like intricate or the least developed out of them, but it's about the groove. Today was like perfect. Like my roommates have a class from 5 to 11.
so it's like they're out
I'm
of
here by
there.
myself. You might hear some sirens though, because the ghetto.
What type of 5-hour class is this, man? Or 4 hours?
They're in the film school.
I am not being in no class from 5 to 11.
Yeah, bro. And they're not paying me. You funny.
That's a work shift. I gotta clock into this class. Like, before I start this, I want to say, Newfound Glory, I love you, and even after I listen to Newfound Glory all the time when we're riding.
I know.
You know, what is this declaration for? I'm sure the 6 Newfound Glory fans still left will appreciate it.
Oh man. Oh wait, I've seen gifs of this music video.
Zach directed it.
Ooh. She looking like Steve Jobs. Who is that one fake billionaire that scammed everybody? I'm gonna post a picture. Man, this is fire.
Yeah.
Woo!
Ooh.
These lyrics, bro. That verse, I love that. Like, I know you like when I admit when I was wrong and you were right. At least I try to keep cool when I'm thrown into a fire. And that bridge, when it's just like throw me into the fire, throw me in, pull me out again. Like, man.
Yo, y'all don't know what you're missing out on though, because during the live sessions, like at the very last, pull me out again, she would like scream it. She'd be like, pull me out again, like during the live, and it always hit so hard. The studio version's like, it's great and everything, but it's like, damn, I wish it had that. Pull me out again. A complete re-record, re-release of this album would be justified if they just added that.
Deluxe, the 5-year anniversary.
The same, but they add one line. Pull me out again.
Yeah, it's about to be the 5-year anniversary soon enough.
We all have this weird relationship with time passing, especially when it comes to like the mid to late 2010s. It's like we can't really accept that they were a while ago at this point. Graduated in 2020.
You were one of the COVID graduates.
Yeah, I was Zoom graduation. Emailed my diploma.
Y'all virtually walked across the stage. You put the curtains back around us. It feels like they had their amps for the guitar set to like Sonic bumping, like collecting coins. The opener, I'd give that like an 8. It was fire, but the lyrics, I mean, it was just a great opening. I'd give Rose Colored Boy like a 9. And then I'd give Told You So like a 9 also. It's fire.
It really like such a strong like opening trilogy right there. Your boy's coming back.
I got it ready. Oh, forgiveness. Just like we should all forgive Chad.
Get out of here.
Forgiveness. He made my friends over you. I forgive him immediately every time I listen.
He meant it.
Wasn't she in their one music video for when they covered that "Kiss Me Under"?
Yeah, they were. That was before.
Yeah.
That was before. That was during the fuck shittery. 18. Oh.
Ah man, Noob. What do you? You got? You're
pretty good.
We're like talking like all in
drama,
the
all the drama, and I'm like, what is going on? Why? Don't drag me into this. I don't even know who Chad is personally.
Let me tell you,
I just heard from you.
Noob loves Newfound Glory as much as me. And I'm
what?
going to edit out anything you don't say.
Don't cancel me too.
I got tattoos of them.
I don't got that tramp stamp, brother.
I got my friends over you tatted. If you see me like looking down, I'm just looking at the lyrics. Oh man.
Your fave.
Do I still pick my friends over you?
Ah, she was feeling away. She was feeling away.
Yeah, what a stand-up man.
This is some like poetic sadness for real.
You don't see an invisible line, and you want forgiveness,
Ah.
Go and get it twisted.
This is like some deep sadness for real.
Think about that next time you stream.
Hey, I don't even need to stream because I have their physical CDs in my car.
I just really love Forgiving is Not Forgetting. I mean, we all know what he was up to, right?
Do you know? I don't think. Wait, does Noob know? Do you
I
know what
really
we're
don't.
talking about at all?
This whole conversation, this whole hour, I'm just like, what did he do?
Basically,
you making it sound like awesome that he did do something. It wasn't so bad.
well, he made my friends over you, and
And she's like, I will stab you.
Haley Williams and Chad were married, and then
Yes.
he was cheating. You know,
Oh no, not
many
why,
times.
Chad? Why?
Multiple times.
It goes beyond that. I mean, okay, so it started. Haley is 18 years old. Chad is like in his mid-20s and married.
Oh yeah.
And he goes after this young 18-year-old Haley Williams. And given the songs that are about Chad, it seemed to not be going well. And
Oh man.
they get engaged in late 2014. And by the time she starts writing this album, he starts fucking around. Sorry to your advertisers. I swear a lot of this album was written during that period of their engagement being called off. And then they get married for God knows what reason. And a year later, in 2017, after this album is released, they split up finally.
You say finally, like you were like waiting for that moment.
You dragging me into liking them? What the heck is all of this?
I'm saying
Yeah.
liking the band. You know, you have bopped your head to new.
I have bopped, but why I gotta be dragged into this drama? What? This is new to me. This is disturbing.
I'm gonna cough again. Fuck.
You COVID, Ebola. Chad is a Chad, man. If he was like,
Oh, I feel so bad for Haley. Imagine your ex's name becomes like the biggest internet meme ever. And I didn't know anything about the drama. I just thought he was ugly.
his hairline never been good, even in his old music
Yeah.
videos.
And like I was like 13 in love with Haley, and I was like, I'm losing out to this.
Oh, this is sadness.
We're all so fake happy.
This outfit though.
Making them think
Yep. A lot of comments are about one thing.
Fire. I love that like the whole that I love that chorus like what's the use? I bet everybody here is fake happy too. Everyone is sad.
Yeah.
Everyone has that mask on for real.
Yeah, and then when you're a celebrity, there's like an extra pressure to perform like publicly and kind of present that facade. Scared to read the comments. I want to see like my 3-year-old simp comments.
Were you simping? Were you up in here talking about those jeans for real? Like airplanes was black people. I remember straight up hood niggas was blasting airplanes. I literally remember it was like midnight and I seen a dude ride down in like the old school, like, you know, top down. And he's like a straight up, like, you just know this guy's a killer. And he just turns that volume up and it's like, can we pretend that airplanes? And he was feeling it for real. Like he had on like the tank top and the tats and everything. I was like, man, this man is feeling this for real. Like
26 is like this album's version of Misguided Ghost.
But y'all, you ready, bro? You got 26 ready, dog?
Mm-hmm.
How to get someone down. You came around. Keep your feet on the ground.
Did you get that?
Hold on to your feet on the ground. close to the window. I'll forget every cynical thing you say. So let it break your heart.
Sadness, man. I love any incorporation of violins in rock music.
At the show, I saw this, and it was the last ever Paramore show at this point. They brought out a mini orchestra for this.
Oh man, that's like one of the top reasons I love the band Mayday Parade. Is just because there's always violins like on a bunch of their songs.
Just a kiss away.
Such a
Violins
hope for strings.
Oh yes.
Put strings in a song, I'm gonna think it's amazing.
It could be the most basic song. It could be a song.
Literally. It can be like Mary Had a Little Lamb in the background. I'm
I'm
thinking some profound. My favorite line is probably "You got me tied up, but I stayed close to the window."
But that line, survival will not be the hardest part. That's an emo. That's gonna go right next to my friends over you tattoo. Survival will not be the hardest part.
I'm not actually sure if Your Boy is what inspired this song. I feel like this could be like a collective, like just force in her life, or maybe like, you know, some people have like conflicting voices in their head telling them to feel different ways. Maybe this is maybe this could be like her old self, you know, her old self from Brick by Born Brick telling her that dreams are stupid, to get your head out of the clouds.
That was kind of the vibe. I was like, it seems like she's talking to like herself, like
Yeah.
like when I'm listening to this. Like, I mean, you could take it as like motivation, as like her telling you like, you know, hold on to the dreams, but it just seems like she's like saying this to herself.
I think that would be the most interesting and profound way to look at it as well.
Anything you got to say about this, bro?
Chad is a jerk. He's
That's
a
the only
jerk.
takeaway you gotta have from this record.
You
Yeah.
hate her.
Adam's a tough and Chad's an asshole.
I didn't even say anything remotely bad about Chad. I'm just saying Chad has done some horrible stuff. What did I do to deserve?
Hate her.
You probably are going to get slapped.
He's blissfully ignorant, and you just wrong.
Going deep into this, and it was just like, yeah, these are some good songs. Like,
I thought I was just coming here just to have a good time. I didn't know that Chad was going to be... I'm looking at Chad's face right now. He looks like a creep.
you looking him up?
I'm looking
No.
at Chad's face. He's so old. The line on his head.
You
He's
can
got
see that
the...
puzzle piece hairline, dude.
Like-
that hairline has never been right in his life.
You admit it.
No, I know. He was punching the air when them hats went out of style, like them caps.
Oh yeah, when the pop punk backwards hat and the
I know that was his darkest day.
He's like 40 years old, man. Jeez. This
It's
is
like,
your
hey-
boy. This is your boy.
YouTube, like, you know, they're like this group of like white girls who make like acoustic covers and stuff like that. They're called Cimarelli. They're YouTubers, and he married one of them.
oh man, he's going
And
after.
she's like 26.
He going after YouTubers. He's going after the young ones. His next one gonna be a TikToker, and that's gonna be real young.
I was like, how you gonna stand someone with that hairline? I mean, you be roasting Jamie Foxx every single day. I like Jimmy Eat World and MCR.
Oh yeah, Jimmy Eat World.
I started skateboarding recently, and let me tell you, like, playing Sweetness by Jimmy Eat World has like been the perfect soundtrack to my new. This is like I've had like a mini emo phase, honestly. Like, as I'm exiting my teens, I'm like reliving them.
Sing it back and forth.
Playing Jimmy Eat World is like when you're in an RPG and you're like have like a cloak that gives you like plus of this ability. That's like giving you plus skateboarding ability just by
Yeah,
listening
deadass.
to Jimmy Eat World. I haven't been rating these. I'd rate 26 like a 9. I don't give 10s out leisurely. Like a song has to be like literally like, you know, like My Friends Over You in order for me to
Can we
give it.
stop with this?
I still pick my friends over you.
Can't stop.
that level. I'd give 26 a 9, and I really liked Fake Happy. I'd give that like a 9 too.
Mhm.
I can't be throwing out 10s. Like I can't be throwing 10s out like
You
that.
saving it for My Friends Over You?
Yeah.
When we were getting into this one, you know, I was like, okay, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna react to After Laughter. I was like, okay, well, if they don't like it, then you know, whatever. But there is this one song on here that I was like, they gotta like this one, because this is, other than Playing God, this is my favorite Paramore song.
Oh really?
It's just-
It's up there?
Yeah, it's not like I don't want to like overhype it and you're gonna be like, oh, whatever, but it's just so perfectly produced. I hate how much of this video we spent talking about Puzzle P's hairline, but
Hey, if he's if the lyrics are about him, then it's like
yes. But it's just you know what? Let's just get into it. I love this song
let's
so
do it, man.
so much.
Cool. Why it sound like Drake is gonna start rapping?
I dove in again 'cause I'm not in. Breaks my heart like you. What happens next? For a moment, I can forget. I'm underwater. No end of a little ocean. I'll dive back in.
The way she like phrases her melodies, for some reason it gives me
Mhm.
Michael Jackson vibes. I don't know. Not like how she sings. It's like the way she's like the timing. I don't know. Like the way she comes at it. My mind just keeps cutting to Michael Jackson for some reason.
Like that, like some early Michael Jackson. I can see that.
Yeah, like I felt like this throughout this whole album. Like the way she'll like and like it'll stop and then like it just gives me those
Something
vibes.
like Off the Wall. Everyone jumps to kind of like two songs to like hyperanalyze. It was Rose Colored Boy and an upcoming one called Out of Worship. But people kind of like didn't pay attention to the lyrics of the song. I think this song is like one of the most interesting, conceptually, one of their most interesting songs ever because in interviews, she would describe it as a love song. And I was just like, where? Affirmation of her commitment to this relationship, but not in a way that seems like excited or relieved. It seems very just complacent and like disappointed and disillusioned. Like she does not sound happy about her current state, you know, her saying like I'm only here because you're all I've ever known, stuff like that. To me it's kind of like more of a swan song for the relationship. Like never found the deep end of our little ocean. We never could find, we can never connect on that level.
It was a fire song. Diving back in, it felt like I feel like it's something to play when you're working out.
This is a really accessible album, I feel like in
Yeah.
comparison, because like if you don't like that whole like Warp Tour sounding music, you might not like Riot. Like I know like if my like 50 something year old dad, if I put on like Misery Business, he'd be like, what is this? But I feel like if I put on like this album, he would be like he could vibe to this.
I don't know how much radio play factors in anymore. All I
I don't
know
think
is
it
that if the
matters
song can go
anymore.
viral online, then you're good.
Have you heard? It's weird listening to songs that like got popular online because like back in the day, if they made like a hit single, they would try to cut back on the cuss words so it could be played on the radio. But now they don't
Mhm.
even care. Like I listened to the radio the other day, and it was so much censorship because they don't care. They're like, I'm gonna go big on TikTok. They're like, I don't care about being played on the
I feel
radio
like that
anymore.
point peaked with like WAP.
Oh, wet and gushy.
Yeah. Like Cardi has this verse that's literally like, literally like not a single line.
If your song is connected to a viral moment, like when Drake was trying to make that what was that, right foot up, left foot slide, when he
Yeah,
was
what the
when he, when
hell?
he was trying to make that trend catch on that never did, like
Yeah. It's so funny watching these celebrities announce like challenges and stuff like that, and just no one does them.
I still have not downloaded that app. I can't be a 24-year-old on TikTok.
How we found ourselves exactly where we left off. Are you racking your brain just to find them? Do you can't keep holding on to grudges? Afraid to give up our fight. Keep holding on to grudges.
Yeah, you got to let go of those grudges. That's something the Paramore fan base should all do.
Shut up. The song is really wholesome. It's about the return of Zach Farrow to the band.
I remember when he left.
Zach joined the band again in 2016. He rejoined formally, but a couple years leading up to that, he and Taylor, who had been best friends in childhood, like they were the two closest. Like they started to rekindle their friendship and stuff like that. And eventually, he started offering himself for this album, and they were just like, "Dude, you want to like join fully?" And they did, and it's really cute. It's a really cute little reunion.
It's a bop. It's like the antithesis of ignorance.
I like the line, just stop asking why we had to waste so much time. Like, I feel like I'm somebody who tends to like be like, oh, why didn't I do this sooner? Or why wish I took advantage of this time that I had. And, I'm somebody who just regrets a lot of things, and I feel like this song helps me like just appreciate that. It doesn't matter when I'm doing something; it's just the fact that I'm doing it.
It's like the happiest song I've heard so far. Like,
Yeah, it's the only happy one on here. I really like what you said, anti-ignorance. Ignorance was all about like splintering the band apart, pretty much.
it'd go on the feel good playlist. You know what I'm saying? That like
Yeah, I feel you.
Hard Times has like 100 something million views, and then all the other ones only have like 8 million or 5 million or something.
Yeah, and it's hard times that I would say I remember in 2018 it had something like around like 40 something million views, and it's just these past couple years in 2019 it got featured on the Happy Death Day soundtrack, and that bumped it up, and then in 2020 the very beginning it became a really big TikTok trend. And just I've been so happy to see it gain more and more traction over the years, and I can like finally consider it a hit song. I wish that for the other ones as well.
If you're comparing this album to like as far as like hits to the previous, I mean it's probably like a flop in comparison. Like,
Yeah.
this is success an average band would dream for, though.
They didn't live up to their own standards, but like
Yeah.
by no means is this like unsuccessful album.
Can't think of getting old. It only makes me want to die. Just a little bit caught in the middle. I gotta keep going or they'll call me a quitter. The waste of my own eyes. I can sabotage me by myself. I can sabotage me by myself. I'm caught in the middle.
Can't look back, can't look forward, barely know what I'm doing now. I think that's just so relatable. The number one, like the biggest call out, like the most personal, direct call out I've ever received in a song was like, nostalgia's cool, but it won't help you now. We live in such a nostalgia based society right now. We're just so reminded of the past. And I feel like not enough people are calling out how, for a lot of individuals, it's not a positive feeling. Some people just think about how much time has passed since like a cherished memory, and they get really sad. And it's like, we need to be focusing on what's in front of us.
I say that it's such a common thing for so many people. It's crazy how many people are get caught up in it and not in the present, and to reflect and let it settle. It's just like a lot to worry about thinking about it, and only thing about the present will just be weight off your chest.
No, I don't need no help. I can sabotage me by myself. Throughout junior year of high school, I had that. I just would write that in pen on my hand, on my arm.
Oh, you were one of them. You were just on the
And in the
skin.
same style. Okay, Haley has a tattoo that is similar in this area, and I would like mimic the handwriting on. I had it bad.
Oh my,
okay?
you were a simp. Yeah, I mean you're
Yeah.
still a simp, but that's some sip stuff. I don't think I've ever been that big of a fan of anything in my life.
The most Brand New Eyes-esque delivery is in this next song, Out of Worship. Like there's a growl and like an aggression and like a fear in her voice that reminds me a lot of Brand New Eyes.
Like I'm supposed to say, I don't want your money. If I see you, I'd run from me. And you're not as alone as you feel. We all got problems.
I see what you mean about that delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Let me let you down. Oh, it's such a long and awful road. Let me let you down. Placing all your faith on me.
I love that song. That's one of my favorites. I love that like message of like I'm just a human. Like if you're a celebrity, fans having high expectations
Yeah.
of you and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. Like I love that like don't let me let you down. Like don't look at me like
Yeah.
in that
Yeah. A group of fans that were like offended by it.
like wow. Why? Because
Yeah, they
Haley
thought
was
they,
like
they
nah.
misread it. They thought it was like Haley not being like appreciative of and I was like, dog, it's not that serious. She wasn't trying to say don't be a fan of me. I don't even think, you know, that even is necessarily something that's exclusive to celebrities. Obviously, it's like magnified, but like if you're somebody that, you know, you're expected to be a role model for at least somebody, it's kind of like if you're a mess and there's somebody who's supposed to look up to you and think that you're great, it's like,
Oh yeah, I hate when like little kids or something. Cause I don't like little kids like look up to me. I'm like, don't be like me. You know, when they're like mimicking stuff you do, I'm like, nah, man.
I'm not like important or anything. I'm not like a celebrity, but like I do have a little brother, and as a kid, I would always be like, "Don't look up to me. You don't want to be like me."
This like newer punk band called The Wonder Years, and they wrote a song like, well, I didn't intentionally, but I'm bringing it back to Newfound Glory. When they met Newfound Glory, and like they like were opening for them, and like kind of like because they were like really big fans, and like there was like a line like growing up means watching my heroes turn human in front of me.
Growing up means watching my heroes turn human in front of me.
I love the vocals. She came on this strong. Like she was like,
yeah, you can hear the
grit.
frustration and the fear and the insecurity in her voice. I think in terms of like emoting, this is one of her best.
This was a solid one right here. Emotionally,
you're just along for the ride. This is the first Paramore album
I'm
you've
like
ever heard.
a newborn baby.
Do you prefer this over what you've heard previously?
Yes, I actually do. I like this album a lot. Like you said, it was a progression towards this.
Let me see. It was a specific song off of Riot. Internet is slow. Name. I know you have this memorized. What is what is the track list to Riot?
For Pessimist, That's What You Get, Hallelujah,
Oh yeah,
Misery Business.
I think it was For a Pessimist. That don't
Okay.
build yourself up,
Yeah.
yourself.
What
That,
did you think I would say when you can't run away? When you
Yeah.
can't run away.
the intro,
Yeah.
like that intro hits so hard. Like
The way I was able to recite it, like
I because my internet was being all slow. I was like, just list it.
for this song, I think you're gonna need to pull up the lyrics because this is an experimental track where the audio, the vocals is not Haley. It's Aaron, I forgot his name, from a band called Me Without You.
Oh, I know that
Haley
band.
and Haley and Taylor are just like obsessed with him or obsessed with that band, and he dropped a guest verse on this song, and the thing is that the way the song is mixed, you can barely hear it.
Mm.
You can barely hear it. So to get anything out of it, like you probably need to read the lyrics.
Oh, nigga needs to turn his mic up.
Does Noob have the lyrics?
I'm reading them right now. This is sounding evil.
To land. I let go of the code.
This gives me those like spoken word, like you know those bands where it's just like instruments and people reciting poetry, like La Dispute.
You saw me confronting my fear. It went up with the bottle and went down with the beer. And I think you ought to stay away from here.
It sounds like it's like you're listening to like a radio and there's like a storm outside and you can't like hear it that loud. It gave me a very unsettled vibe listening to this.
Yeah, this is by far the most controversial song on the album. Like a lot of people, like, as you can imagine, this song has like a cult following. Like people will like die by this, like they defend it like crazy, they love it. Other people are like, no. It's actually kind of funny live. Haley just like lies on the floor.
I feel like a lot of like people would skip this song. Like
driving at night by yourself on like the highway on like empty roads with this stuff playing, it's a vibe. It's a vibe and a half, bro.
It's a dark vibe. Like when you're in class doing popcorn reading and the one guy who can't speak up, like, speak up, Jonathan. Because I like this genre. Like I like that like emotional guy recites poetry to moody music. There's like I like a lot of bands in that genre, like Hotel Books and La Dispute.
Watching your muscles ache from the stress in your back, waiting for bones to break from the weight of what you lack.
How did this make you feel, bro?
It was
Did it make you feel warm inside?
What? No, I was felt like somebody whispered in my ear, but at like a very long distance, trying to whisper.
So far, the album, as you said, has been very like mellow and inviting and fun, and it's just like, well, you know, we are mentally ill right now. I guess let's take it to a mentally ill place. There is one massive topic that has been avoided throughout the entire album, and this is the one song where it is addressed, and it is the departure of Jeremy.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely tell I'm supposed to be here right now. Show them move.
Haley only has performed this song one time, and I was there at the last Paramore show, so it's a sad one.
All right, Germ Beats on the track. You got it pulled up. Everyone got it pulled up.
Are you a stranger? I can't call you. Tell me how to feel about you now. Tell me, oh, let me know. Starting something new again. Oh, let me know.
Man,
Take me down with your quiet. Your silence is the most violent.
yo, that was sad, man.
Yeah.
That chorus, like, do I suffocate or let go? Like, those are the only two options.
I feel bad. It's like, imagine someone causes you this much pain and it's that guy.
Train, I'ma make it rain and I don't want it back. Oochie wally wally, oochie.
Towards the end of the record, there she's just like, yeah, well, I'm feeling hurt, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling lost, and we're not gonna hide behind the dancey beats anymore.
This was still dancey. It just felt like a really depressed disco.
When she was performing this, she was like gripping her shirt, she was like wincing, like she was this song hurts her.
It's sad that a nigga like Germ Beats was hurting her. That's
Yeah.
like some real.
She just Jeremy Beats and Chad and John. What a lineup! I think I'm getting tired of getting over it and starting something new again. And I'm getting sick of the beginnings, and something about, like, you know, the way the band has just gone through so many lineup changes and just has fallen apart so many times. And just like she's just like, I'm over it. I'm over having to do this over and over and over again.
I don't know how you fumbled the Paramore bag, man. That's like,
I know so many people have just like completely fumbled Paramore, Haley. Like, they just did not know how to work this to their advantage. You were right about that, like, kind of disco sort of instrumentation. It reminds me a bit of Forgiveness earlier.
my favorites. Like, if I had to just going through, I really liked. I just like emo sounding stuff. So I really liked Fake Happy. I liked Forgiveness a lot. I liked and Idol Worship. Yeah, I really liked. I feel like, because like I'm not a moody person, so like I kind of like I seek out moody music.
I say my favorites were "Told You So," 26, and "Idol Worship," as well as "Tell Me More," "Tell Me How."
My favorites are Rose Colored Boy, 26, Pool, and Told You So. I think those are my favorites.
I really like this album, but that's still like, if I was ranking this, it's just because, I mean, if I was ranking this like objectively, like, you know, like musicality, this would probably be their best album. But like this is way above probably like the mixing and the production on All We Know Is Falling. Nah, like I mean, it's
They were
good.
children.
Like, but that mixing, man, and like her vote, like they added like auto tune to her vocals, like on a bunch of songs that didn't even, like, you know, that there's a lot of pitch correction, like when I'm listening, that isn't so much on like the later albums, but it was just like, but I just enjoy that album a lot. I don't know, that album just, I think it's just because I heard it when I was really young, so it's like I
Yeah,
can't.
you know, that sentimental value. For me, like, this album came out when I was 15. So I experienced Paramore for the first time when I was like 13. So it's not even like their older albums had that much of a head start for me.
You kind of listen to
So-
them in the same time frame.
Yeah, it's like pretty much the same phase of my life. So I mean, this is I would consider this at this point to be formative for me. At this point, there is no new Paramore. It's all old at this point. This album set me on like a really thorough self-examination of how I was doing, because I would just, the way I would resonate with the way some of the songs would resonate with me had me like looking into myself, and I'm like, damn, am I okay? One time I remember Rose Colored Boy made me cry, and I was like, why is this making me cry? That ain't right.
Oh, and you were in high school when this came out, so that's like a whole nother level.
Yeah.
I was grown with a job.
I was a freshman.
I was graduated grown with a job when this album came out. I was trying to pay rent on time, like, because they came out in like 2013, right? Attack on Titan. This is about to be a come attack.
Dropped in 2013.
And then there was like years, nothing else.
Yeah, 4 years hiatus, and then 2017 season 2, and then every subsequent year since then, there's been a new season. But there was a 4-year gap.
Isn't that the gap between Paramore? Didn't Attack on Titan?
Oh my God, yeah.
She about to be like 40 when that next album drops, probably.
Yeah, I'm about to be a college graduate by the time. I was a high school freshman when they dropped the album. I'm about to graduate college. 2 diplomas in the time it took them to write.
You're gonna have a whole PhD. You're gonna have like you're gonna be Haley's age now, like.
I'm already old enough to be one of Chad's girlfriends, so on my 17th birthday, my friend DM'd him to say happy birthday to me because we have the same birthday. So I have that screenshot. Happy birthday, Phaedra. Are you jealous?
You should share. He didn't say happy birthday to me.
I'm more of a Chad stan than you.
I'm glad, Phaedra. What are your socials? What are like that we could link in the descriptions?
Oh, well, I mean, I've got my Twitter, obviously. I've got my YouTube channel that I'm planning on, once the semester stops kicking my ass, I'm going to update it. I'm so bad at plugging myself. That's like, oh, I need to change the battery. Be right back.
Like,
Jamie Foxx is back.
Guess who is also back? Goblin Chad.
That looks like Chad's hairline, bro. That's like his unaltered, undoctored, regular ass photo of his hairline. That was the first thing I remember about you guys when I first found your channel like a year ago. I was like, these dudes in the hairline.
Link the socials, check her YouTube, check her 2.5 hour recordings of Attack on Titan.
There will be both anime and Paramore videos on the way eventually in the future. I love to do all the Paramore albums. Paramore is, again, I got a PhD in that shit. And I love the prospect of being in a video I don't have to edit.
The editing that I'll have to do. All the cuts to my friends over you.